While your guys wait.
Oh, more after here. Oh.
Don't run over the duckies! Duckies! I swear they are.
Hello, welcome aboard. We'll be just across the way, all the way forward.
Watch your step.
Anything? I can have one more.
Make sure we move all backpacks from our backs so we can grab us off the floor.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us for the adventure. Right next to me, we watch you say us on the fingers, as you wouldn't want to get pinched by that photo. And whale. We go. Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Anthony. I'm your captain and storyteller today as we journey into Storybook Land off the Cinderella. But first, for your safety, although we ask that we please remain seated at all times with those hands, arms, legs, and feet inside our boat. If you please refrain from touching that lovely green water or any handicap associated from the west. Alrighty, everybody, we're going to watch as Captain Riley on the boat ahead of us get consumed by a whale. But friends, we are going to hang on tight right here as monsters let's enjoy a whale meal.
Throw the whale. We are actually using him as a gateway to the wonderful Storybook Land.
Friends, most people only travel to enchant the words and the pages of a book. But as for us, even though it seems as if we're being swallowed by a whale, friends, we're actually traveling to a whole new world called Storybook Land. Now, friends, as you may know, most good stories start off with once upon a time, and ours begins with those three little pigs who are always being chased by that big bad wolf. And they just so happen to live here on our right-hand side. Friends, you'll notice three little homes. One made out of straw, the next made out of sticks, and last, but definitely not least, one thing that I'm guaranteed you will frequent. On our left-hand side, we'll be approaching a quaint little village home to Alice, where during one golden afternoon, she decided to follow a white rabbit down a rabbit hole. And she went down, 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 all the way to Wonderland, where her story grew curiouser and curiouser from there. Across the way, we'll be flying over to London Park with the darling children set like alongside Peter Pan and Tinkerbell off to Neverland. And just like those tiny little trees, they would never, ever grow up. But friends, how about a magical twist in our story here as the city of Agrabah will be one jump ahead. There's of course a street rat named Aladdin bumped into Princess Jasmine in the marketplace and stole her heart. Now even though these two were from completely different worlds, thanks to the magic known as love, and they lived happily ever after. Speaking of Aladdin and Jasmine, the twinkling lights on our archways above, surrounded by these beautiful jasmine flowers, well, they remind us of that starry night in which Aladdin and Jasmine soared over, sideways, and under during their magical carpet ride to a whole new world. All the friends on all stories are filled with light and love. Some are dark and even a little mysterious, just like our Cave of Wonders, where Aladdin bumped into the home of our favorite genie. Now, friends, as we pass by this magical lamp, it's tradition around here for all of us to make a wish and see if it comes true. But for Cinderella and Snow White, both their wishes came true. On our right-hand side, Snow White had wished for protection against the evil queen, and luckily she stumbled across that cozy little cottage home with a savage dwarf. On our left, Cinderella wished to attend the ball, and thankfully her fairy godmother was able to grant this wish under one condition: she had to be home by midnight. And friends, it appears that Cinderella might have actually skipped her curfew, as you might notice her carriage turning back into a pumpkin above that middle grand rochelle. Friends, some stories can be pretty silly, simple, and even a little whimsical, like wishing for a hillside of flowers and turned into a quilted sheet to sleep in. This happened during 1833 silly symphony cartoon called Lullaby Land. The succulents on our left are inspired by. Coming up ahead here on our left, we'll be approaching Rapunzel's Tower. Here, Rapunzel and friends Flynn, Ryder, Maximus, and of course, who could forget about Pascal? They set off on a journey to see the floating lights and answer Rapunzel's question as to when would her life begin. And you might be able to see the floating lights up ahead. Now, past these beautiful lights here on our left, we'll be approaching Toad Hall, home to the fabulous Mr. Toad. And it appears as if he actually might not be home right now. See, rumor has it he's usually somewhere off in Fantasyland on a wild ride. But it seems like some of us may be a little bit more familiar with his next-door neighbors living in the kingdom of Arendelle. Here, sisters Anna and Elsa discovered something more magical than Elsa's ice powers. They discovered the magic of sisterhood.
I thought Elsa is big, not tiny.
Straight ahead will be one of our final stops in this story, which is going to be Alpine Village, where Geppetto wished upon a star, Boris Puppet Pinocchio to turn into a real boy. But that was finally being granted after Pinocchio rescued him from the belly of a monster whale. Sadly, though, everybody passes bridge here on our right will be the final chapter of our story, but it's this captain's personal favorite. It takes place in Prince Eric's castle. Everybody say that we'll see that man that was love with a lovely Little Mermaid Ariel. As you know about Ariel, her journey began in the underwater city of Atlantica, which you'll see right behind us here on the right side of that waterfall. But only if you look very carefully inside, the King Triton is definitely trying to keep that one under the sea. Our friends, our Ariel's journey begins, ours comes to an end, but I would love to thank you so much for joining us today. I'd love to remind you once again to watch those hands, arms, and fingers. Let's keep them inside our boat, especially my friends, my Don. On behalf of all of our storytellers today, I would love to thank you so much for joining us today. When we come to a complete stop, I will ask that we all remain seated. On my count of 3, we're all going to try to stand up at the same time so that nobody takes a personal tour to see what's under the sea.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, you guys. Let's use this hand rope. Look down on your second. Everybody, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you so much. Hi, friends. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Thank you.